from the page Hops and Brews, Jon Shubin, everybody. Cheers, John.
Hey,
good to see you, man.
Cheers.
And John is doing, I don't know if you guys have seen this, he's doing something called the Only Beer Diet. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, John, you can tell everybody about it, but this is something that the Paulaner monks in the 17th century actually fasted for the 46 days of Lent. They ate no food, they only drank beer, and there's John here and like a group of people who are recreating this. They're doing it only beer diet for the next 46 days of Lent, whenever that ends. And all right, John, man, cheers and good luck with this insane beer goal. Very controversial beer goal. We're going to get into that. But give us the basic overview, man. Like, what is it? Why are you doing it? And why are you not eating? And I hope you're okay. Please,
all right.
Please don't die while we're talking.
First off, I'm starving, so I would like to have dinner. So I'm gonna have a beer. And speaking of the monks, this is the beer that kept the monks alive. It is the Paulaner Salvator. It is a doppel.
Wow! So that's the actual named after the monks in the 17th century who did this fast. So it was like a religious thing, right? It was like they actually was part of their religion.
So the Paulaner monks have been brewing this beer specifically for this, and the recipe has not changed. The brewery still exists. Obviously, changed locations and everything like that, like a normal location could over the past 300 to 400 years. But yes, the recipe is still stayed the same.
Wow, that is crazy. So the first thing I think a lot of people, you've been posting this in Beer Goals group on the Facebook. The first question that a lot of people have is, first of all, is this safe? Secondly, did you consult a doctor? Because this kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you remember, there was that movie like years ago where the guy only ate McDonald's, like Supersize Me.
Yeah.
You're essentially doing super beer me. You're doing you're the super beer me guy. I think it's like amazing, man. I'm like, that's incredible. But did you consult anyone? A doctor, a physician, a veterinarian, anybody?
So I didn't consult anyone right away. I did afterwards, but I did over almost 2 years of research on this and what it would take. What does your body go through? I talked to, like you were talking earlier, there's a small group that's kind of starting to grow, and people are posting on social media just with the internet now that are doing this. And so I got in touch with a lot of them and got a lot of knowledge from them and what it took them to get through and what the body happens and what you need to really go through. So it was something along that lines. And when they went to their doctors, all of them said, yeah, we don't recommend it, but it's fine to do. Just be safe. And so the big misconception I think a lot of people are thinking, especially on the Beer Goals group, is that I'm just an alcoholic and drinking all the time.
I'm not convinced you're not, man.
I'm not. Me neither.
So here's my thing. Like, I have a beer goal, right? This is an amazing beer. I think you're doing an amazing beer goal. So my beer goal is to drink 50 beers in each state, across America, 2,550 beers altogether.
That's a great
goal. A couple times I've freaked myself out, like, wow, maybe I should not do this. Like, I should cut back. My doctor, my main physician, has said, I accidentally told her about beer goals. He was like, no, you should not do that. Please stop drinking. I've talked to liver doctors, and they had like a different opinion. They were like, oh, man, like, there's nothing on the books and the medical books establishment saying like, oh, like, there's a recommended like amount of alcohol, but there's nothing like, if you drink consistently. So I've gotten like mixed bag of reviews. But what you're doing, I think the reason you've kind of seen some pushback is like I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, what's the big deal? And then I was like thinking about like, oh man, you're like not eating food. So you're fasting and then like using all this alcohol. So that's like, wow. I think that's the reason like a lot of folks are like, Jesus, dude. And I'm sorry, I didn't tell you this. I've been getting through Beer Goals, because you've been posting, thank you for all your great beer posts. You've been posting to Beer Goals group this past week or two. So I've been getting messages where people are like, hey man, you got a guy posting in your Facebook group who is like, this is dangerous. Like, you should not be promoting this. And I got to say, I do not take legal responsibility. We are not advocating that people do the beer goal or the beer only diet. This is a personal decision that you have, and I think I just turned into Beer Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah,
there's different opinions, man. You just gotta we're just talking. This is for you to decide.
No, I'm not promoting this as a diet to go, oh, you want to lose 10, 20 pounds, just drink beer. I'm not doing that whatsoever. It's more of, like we talked about, it is for Lent, it's a religious thing. I have, just like you have a beer group, I have a beer channel on YouTube.
Hops and Brews.
Hops and Brews, yeah, if you want to check that out. Every year I do a month-long beer diet, a themed diet. So I did a low-cal one year. I did a NA, non-alcoholic beer, to see what non-alcoholics can do and how you can get the best craft beer out of NA beers.
Wow.
And then this year I said, well, I kind of want to do the opposite. I want to see if beer can save my life.
That's amazing. Beer can save my life. That is beautiful, man. Wow. So that brings up another question, and forgive me if you already said it. How many pounds exactly have you lost since you started?
So currently I'm on day 10, and I have lost 10 pounds. So a pound a day.
Pound a day. Because you're essentially, I mean, to be fair, you're essentially not, I mean, you are not eating. You're taking like half the calories. Have you actually tracked the calories? Because I know somebody who's done like weight loss programs, getting it off myself. Like I know like one of the main components, if you're doing it correctly, you're doing it healthy, is basically just calorie counting. Like you should be, tracking your calories, like how much I'm taking. Everybody knows the daily allowance is what, like 2,000 pounds a day.
Like what the minimum they suggest, yes.
So you must be just like cutting that in half, man. It must be just like boom.
Yeah, I am technically keeping count. I am doing a review, and I'm keeping a huge catalog. So I'm hoping toward the end of April, I'm going to release a all-end review of my video with a lot of data, as much as I can. I am taking photos daily, weight logs daily, the beers I'm having daily. By that, then I can track the calories that I've technically consumed. But a rough estimate, is basically about 1,000 calories a day.
1,000, yes, you're half. Wow, that is well. It sounds almost like you're like the NASA astronauts, like when they study their bodies when they come back from space. Like there was the twins. You're like you're a beer astronaut. You're like doing beer experiments on your body, man. This is amazing. You're pure beer gold, man. Like I talk the talk, you walk the walk, dude. Like because I would be way too scared to do what you're doing. That's amazing. Which means,
like I said, it took years to get the cojones to do this.
Wow, man.